Let's face it, leads are the lifeblood of any estate agency business. But loads of estate agents are stuck in a cycle of doing things manually and replying back to inquiries on Facebook and Instagram, emailing out property particulars. It's simply not scalable, it's not efficient, and it's costing you money in your business. That's why in this video, I'm pulling back the curtain and showing you a simple, automated system that takes leads into your business into market appraisals in your diary with minimal manual effort. Whether you're getting leads through from your content you're producing, lead magnets in your business, or even squeeze pages, this will work for you. I'll show you exactly how to plug this into your system so you can produce market appraisals while you sleep. So let's jump into it. So the tool we're going to be using today is called ManyChat, and ManyChat is effectively like an automation tool within your business, and it will take information that people send over to it or certain prompts on your social media, and it will produce an output off the back of it that we can control what that is. So we've been using this in our business for the last 6 to 9 months or so, and I know this expression gets thrown around quite a lot, but it is a bit of a game changer. It always brings me a little bit of joy when I see someone's DM me a certain word or a certain message, and I think to myself, they've gone into an automation and I'm not typing anything. It is just working in the background, and it feels a lot like we're doing it when really we're not. So it's not a cold service at all. It feels quite warm and quite personable if you do it correctly. So we're going to jump into the video now. I'm going to jump onto my screen recording and show you exactly how it's done. So first things first, this is the home screen of ManyChat. You can get free trials, so you can get 2 weeks free to start things off to make sure you like it first of all. But the first thing you want to do is link in your social medias. So for example, down here, you've got things like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Messenger, etc. So therefore you can link in the platforms you want to use. Now ManyChat, in my experience, works best on Instagram and on Facebook as well. Also, they're both owned by Meta, so therefore the compatibility is very similar on that side. And if we go into automations, so these are all the automations we've got running at the moment. So various ones, some we push out in a big way, some we don't really push out in any way, but they're just there just in case we need them. So for example, our data prompt here, for example, we've only had 7 so far. We've only just launched that a few days ago, and we haven't really told anyone about it. This is generally just me and the team testing it works. Whereas other ones on here, for example, 78 people. These are people who have downloaded a free copy of our book, for example, and we can jump into kind of seeing how that works. So let's think about how we can use this. So let's say, for example, we have a brand new property which is coming onto the market, and I do a coming soon video, and I say, you are not going to believe this property I've got coming on the market. It's a brilliant 4-bedroom detached house. It's got garage, it's got parking, it's got a garden. It'll be perfect for a family. If you want your details on this property before it goes on the general market, just message me the word family and you'll get on the list straight away. So that's the dream. That's what we're trying to work towards, is that automation in our business. So let's look how we can do this. And what I'm going to do is start this from scratch. So there are lots of templates on here that a lot of them, it can do it already. So it'll set lots of the things you can do and a lot of the ideas of templates. You can basically pick one to do there. So what I'm going to do is literally start from scratch. So all of these things that we could pick, start from scratch. Completely blank page. So what we're going to do is first look at what the trigger is going to be. And the trigger is a posh way of saying what's going to come into our business that's going to start the automation off. So is it someone sending us a DM message, for example? Is it them commenting on one of our posts? All these different things can trigger off an automation in our business. One of the best ones you'll do is people sending you a direct message. So for example, let's start with that one because it gives you a bit more to play with. There's certain rules behind the scenes that Meta allow you to do and what they don't allow you to do, and you can't just spam and direct message them without them accepting that being okay. So they send you a DM first of all saying, family, for example, that is a green light in the eyes of Meta to say we're okay to message them back and go into an automation process. If it's just a comment, for example, we need them to click a button later on, which makes it a little bit more clunky. So I always find that DMs are the best way of doing this. So as we can see on here, we're starting off and we're saying what is our text. But actually, before we get into that, we need to work out what our trigger is. New trigger. And let's go for user sends us a message. You can see on here, for example, user comments on your post, replies to your story, they send you a message, they click on Instagram ad, they comment on your live. So let's go for send a message first of all. So what we're going to do is get them to detect a certain word within that message. So for this one, we said family. Now, the thing to be aware of in this is that the mistake that I've made a few times, and so I'll tell you about this first of all, is that the message contains the word family. So for example, we have an automation involving the word book. So if you send us a message saying book, you get a free copy of your first £100,000 estate agency. What we found occasionally is that people would message us saying, hey Chris, hope you're okay. I've just finished reading your book and I thought it was really, really good. They would then go into an automation saying, do you want to download a copy of our book? Which obviously didn't work because they had the book already and they were saying about the book. So that was a complete car crash. So what we basically looked at here is if the message contains the word book. Well, actually, what we're going to do is, let's say it starts with the word family, because what you'll generally find is that people say family please, or family thumbs up, or family praise hands, or family flame emoji, and you're like, no, just the word family will work for me. So basically what we're doing by doing this is buying us a little bit of insurance that if they enter slightly the wrong word, or they put thank you very much, or please family, or whatever, we should cover that off. You can add other things on here as well. So we could say like family please, anything like that, or you could do family. I mean, also there's a million combinations here. Love heart, for example, but really 99.99% of it should be taken care of that. So any message that starts with the word family, we're on, this is going to work. Good. Okay, so let's create that. So that is our starting point. I'll just zoom out slightly. You can see what's going to come next. So what happens now? Someone has sent us the word family. We then need to reply back to that. So if we jump onto here, hi, thanks for inquiring. If I can spell, that is definitely not how you spell that. That's not gone well. There we go. Thanks for inquiring about the new home we have coming onto the market. So I'm going to keep this very generic to start off with, because little spoiler alert, we're going to be using this on future properties. So what we don't want to be saying is saying, thanks for inquiring about this 3-bedroom detached house in so-and-so road, because we want to use this automation later on. So let's keep it nice and broad. Hi, thanks for inquiring about the new home we're coming to the market. Of course, I'm more than happy to send you over the details of it. And what we're going to do is divide this up. So let's take this second bit, if I can actually highlight it. There we go. Delete that out of there, add another bit of text. This is basically a separate message. You see now there's 2 chunks on here. Hi, thanks for inquiring. Of course, I'm more than happy to send the details for it. Obviously, this is very blank and boring at the moment. Add some emojis to this. One little hack on this is actually copy and paste these prompts into ChatGPT. It will make them sound a lot better, and it will add the emojis on there. So this will be slightly a rough and ready version. Now, the really clever bit of this is also we want to make this feel as natural as possible. So what we can do is add a delay. So we just move this between the 2. So what's now going to happen, if I go preview, hey, thanks for inquiring about the new home we've come on the market. 3 seconds is going to pass. Of course, I'm more than happy to send you details of it. It's as if we're sat there typing, and that's exactly what we want to go for here. What do we want in this situation? So we want names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, all that stuff. Let's try and get an email address, shall we? So what we can do is go on here and go data collection. So if we, actually, I've jumped the gun actually for it. Let me add some bits in here. Of course, I'm more than happy to send you over the details for it. What's your email address? And I'll send it over to you. And the reply is going to be an email address. So it knows the formatting we've got in place. So let's add a little delay in here as well, shall we? We can copy these and paste them in and just drag them down. Thank you very much. So let's go preview. Hi, thanks for inquiring about the new home we've got coming to the market. 3 seconds passes. Of course, I'm more than happy to send you details for it. Another 3 seconds passes. What's your email address? I'll send it over to you. Data capture, data capture, data capture is what we're doing this. So the trade here is we're saying you can find out about this property first of all, but we want your email address first of all. Nothing will happen until they send over their email address. We'll just sit here in some sort of Mexican standoff until they send their email address over. And either they send their email address and it then goes on from there, or they don't. And it just sits there. You can send things like reminders, but it gets a little bit more complicated than that. It's probably outside the scope of this video. We're just going to set this basic automation to start off with. As a side note, just to point something out on here, action on reply, this is where it adds to almost like a list. So if you want to go, right, how many people have inquired about this one property, or it can make an automation into your CRM system, that's an action on reply. But again, a little bit outside the scope of this video. So next step, they've come back with their email address. Let's put a little next step in. Let's go, thanks for that. Here's the details for you. ... There we go. And then what you can do is add a button. So let's say you had a website that had a copy of your details on it. You can literally, all you need to do, open a website, type in here, view the details, enter the website on here, estateagentconsultancy.com. There we go. Done. That link is there. Thanks for here. Here's the details for you. So you can see that is all now set up. Now, if you want the real sneaky peek here, and this is where it can get even cooler, let's send these guys a message a little bit later. Say, did you like those details? Do you want to have a look around it? So smart delay. How long do we think it's going to take them to look at the details? Let's say it takes them 30-minute, continue to the next step, which is going to be Instagram. Add some text. Hey, what did you think of the details. Did you want to take a look at the property when it comes on the market? Smash. There we go. One automation we've got there. And if you want to be really cool, you'd add a button on here and it would say book your slot in here. Many agents don't have a automation with regard to booking side of things. I would look into it if I were you. But basically what we've got here is that we're getting a message, first of all, that someone's messaged us the word family because we've got a new house coming on the market. They're then going into this automation process. So I'm more than happy to send you the details for it. What's your email address? I'll send it over to you. So let's go chris@chris.com. I wish I had that email address. Thanks for the details. Here's the details for you. And then time delay, which isn't included in the preview. It's not going to wait for half an hour. What do you think of the details? Did you want to have a look at the property when it comes on the market? And we'd give them some sort of prompt to go, actually, this is the next step from here, whether it's booking your diary or whatever it may be. That can then come through and make you alert that that person wants to view that property. How cool is that? So literally all we've done is say, if you like the sound of this property and you think it's going to be one for you, just DM me the word family, and that has all happened off the back of it. Pretty cool. I think you'll agree on that side. So now let's do a different example. So we go back to the home screen again and start a new automation. Now, this is probably the thing that agents really need to do well of in their business. You want to maximize the likeliness of people inquiring in your business and wanting information in your business through to market appraisal. And if you can automate that process, you can literally do this while you sleep. So let's say on your Instagram profile, you say, DM me the word guide and find out my top steps to how to sell your house in Slough, or top 10 things to avoid when selling a home in Slough. That'll probably be even better. So user sends a message, detect a certain word. Let's say our word is guide. I was going to say the word's going to be Slough, but there we go. Let's go for guide. Begins with guide. Cool. Create. Simple as that. Starts with that. And what do we want to happen next? Hey, thanks for requesting the guide for how to sell in Slough. Exclamation marks, it's Slough, obviously, capital S. Cool, there we go. So that's all sorted. Right, so now let's add in there some data collection, just so I can send it across, oh my goodness, to you. What's your email address? There we go. And let's add in a quick little delay on there. Can move that up, just like that. I'm going to ask for an email address. Cool. There we go. We're off to the races. We've got an automation and someone's messaged us the word guide. Then once that guide comes through, hey, thanks for requesting the guide on how to sell in Slough. And then just so I can send it across to you, what's your best email address? The next step. Once they've sent us their email address, we can go, awesome. Thanks for that. Here you go. Exclamation mark. We can then add a button. We can open a website, for example, that has got your guide attached to it. And you can use lots of things like smart links where you upload your document and they can just use that effectively. Get the guide, exclamation mark, and then enter your website on here. That's not even how you spell website, but that'll do. There we go. And then we've got the link on there. So if we know this person has downloaded a guide on how to sell their property in Slough, or top 10 things to avoid when selling a house in Slough, we know they're probably local and they probably want to sell their property at some point down the line. So let's put the next step in, shall we? So let's do a smart delay and let's leave it for, let's give it a day, shall we? So let's go 24 hours. And then what's going to happen after that is they can get another message from ourselves saying, hey, how did you find the guide in the end? Did you find it valuable? And then add a delay, 3 seconds, add some more text. If you fancy, that sounds a bit over the top, doesn't it? If you would like me to come and give you a valuation on your home, you can book that just by clicking below. There we go. And you'd add your link to your online calendar booking page, which you absolutely should have in your business. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to book in market appraisals into your diary. So therefore, online booking is perfect. Now, I know you're probably saying, Chris, I don't want everyone just randomly booking in my diary. I like control of my diary. Well, I completely get it. But therefore, you can have that conversation once it's booked in. Once you've got it in your diary, it's fairly concrete in, they're going to have that valuation. You can then call that person and say to them, great, you've booked on a market appraisal for 3 o'clock on Saturday. Let's get some more details about your property before I come and see you. As a worst case scenario, you can then have that conversation with them. And if you can't do it because actually you've got cricket or golf or getting your hair done at 4 o'clock, great. We'll just say to them, I'm really sorry, I can't accommodate that time. Could you do 2 o'clock instead? Really easily done, but you know it's safe, you know it's booked in your diary in that situation. So you'd absolutely have an automation that goes into your diary, that books in market appraisals straight into your diary. It's a good place to be. Trust me, the pros really outweigh the cons in a big way on that side of things. So now we've got the automation set up in your business, there's two big things we should be now focusing on to make sure we make full use of this. Number one is the more exposure your business can get, the more people you'll be driving towards your lead magnet. Let's say, for example, you had a bit of video content which went viral. It did really well. And instead of your usual 1,000 views to your video, you got 100,000 views to your video. That has exploded the top of your sales funnel. That means more people are going to view your content and then click on your lead magnet, which then goes into this automation flow. Therefore, your goal is to produce better and better content to engage with more and more people at the top of your sales funnel. Section number two is you want to look at your conversions going through. Because if we get 5% out of the bottom, so 5 people out of every 100 actually click through that automation, and we can get that up to 10, great, we've just doubled the amount of people that are engaging with that part of our business. So therefore, two things to monitor. A, how much is going to the top, and off the back of that, how much is following down to the bottom of your sales funnel. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Give this a go. Honestly, once you've done it first of all, you really will not look back. And as you might expect, if you want a free copy of my first best-selling book, Your First £100,000 Estate Agency, you can do that by simply DMing us the word book over on Instagram, or you can find the link just below this video.